Hi, guys. So, today we're going to talk about a very exciting topic. I love it. Identities. Identities, and we'll start from examining some words. The topic is both psychological and political. Yeah, and also philosophical. So, the first word we'll be examining is the word individual. Yeah. So uh, the root of the word is divisere. Yeah. It's a Latin word meaning to divide. Individual, non divisible. Yes. Something that you cannot divide. Yeah. So from this perspective, everyone should consider that what does it mean to be an individual? Where is that point starting from which you cannot be divided further into smaller parts? And I'd like to I think of Sadhguru. He's an interesting guy, a mystic, a yogi, a philanthropist. Sadhguru, yeah, he's known to lots of people, to lots of audiences across the planet. Actually, he's been to Oxford, to I think Yale. Uh, he was invited to some government agencies, private business schools, etc. So uh, um, both Sadhguru and also I've seen the same line of thinking with Osho, another interesting writer, mystic, a controversial figure. Whoever is famous is controversial. Mother Teresa, Jesus Christ, Socrates. Yes, some people loved them, some people hated them. Socrates was even voted to be executed, right? So, yeah. So Osho was controversial as well. Now I'll go in that direction. Okay, so let's take our breathing. Yeah, when we think of our respiratory system, we think of our nose and our lungs. Yeah, in general, in a simplified manner. Yeah. So the air goes through the nostrils. It goes into the lungs, and from the lungs, it is distributed across our body. Yeah. So this we say is our respiratory system, and the whatever is not needed to the organism is kind of goes out. Yes, from our um, from the same nostrils. Yeah. So a system is something that is whole. Yeah. If my lungs cannot work without something, it means the lungs are a part of a bigger system, right? For instance, if you have scales, your scales will be useful to you not only if they have some digital or non digital component which shows you the weight, but also some part on which you can place, yes, your object and discover its weight. I'm saying if you just take only the part where it shows you numbers without the other part where it shows you the weight of the given object, scales are useless. Or vice versa, if you take only the part where you can put an object, but you have no system, digital or non-digital, of knowing how much does it weigh, it's useless. Yeah. So scales require at least two components, right, to function properly. So our lungs, can they function without the trees, without the ocean, without this O2, yeah, without oxygen? Or will just die within seconds or maximum a few minutes, if we are not exposed to oxygen, which is created, yeah, which is delivered to us thanks to the trees and to the oceans, yes, different forms of life living in the waters of the oceans. So, from this perspective, my lung and the green leaf of every tree and every organism in the ocean which generates oxygen are indivisible, right? Because if I go to open space, I like this, I die, right? So when you consider individuality, where is that line starting from which I cannot be divided further into smaller bits? You discover that you cannot be divided, from nature, for instance. We just don't experience that on a daily basis. We do experience that, but we consciously are not aware of that experience. Yeah, we don't think of it. It's like the ice. It can take the form of of an ice if it has been provided some specific conditions, especially, I mean, some specific temperature. Yeah. So ice can exist only in a given temperature, in a given environment. Yes. Or else that same ice will turn into vapor or liquid, right? So ice is not cannot be separated from its environment because it will die very fast, right? So my body, similarly, like my skin, produces vitamin D5, if I'm not mistaken, from the rays of sunlight. So I am not, I cannot be separated. Yeah. An average, healthy individual cannot be separated from the sun and the sunlight, right? Or else our health deteriorates and it leads us to slow death. So my body cannot be divided from the nature, not only the nature of this planet, but also the sun, yeah, which causes my skin to produce vitamin. The word vitamin, the root is vita, life. Vitamin is something that is very, very important for your life. Yeah. So similarly, like when we are born, like we weigh only 2 kilograms or even less. Yeah, I'm going to speak in kilograms. So how does that how does it happen that we reach, like, some people get to 60 kilograms, 80, 100, or even more? How? Well, it's the water that we drink, yeah, and it's the food that we eat, right? So where does the food come from? Hmm? Well, food is again created from this planet. Yeah, it grows on trees. Even if, when we kill some animals, those animals feed from the trees, from the grass. So everything spurs comes, from this planet. Yeah. So I am indivisible, and those kilograms that I have on my body, yes, the body itself is just um, an upcycled form of our planet. Yeah. I contain water, I contain earth, I contain some oxygen. I cannot live without oxygen. I contain some fire, like in terms of acids, those burning liquids in my stomach, yes, which burn and destroy food. So this body is, it consists of four elements and of our planet. So this body is not divisible, cannot be divided from the planet and from the sun. Isn't this amazing when you go into it? And if people were to experience this regularly, yeah, uh, with their consciousness, would we have problems like terrible problems with our environment, for instance? So, okay, this was the analysis of the word individual, indivisible, yes, which cannot be divided into further smaller details. Yeah, just my fingers cannot be divided from my hand. Yes, in a healthy, well, I lose them. Yes, if they are cut, I lose them, and it hurts, and I suffer. Yes, and fingers die. Separately, this whole body will die if it is separated from the planet. Okay, so this was the first word, individual. Yeah, of course, in our culture, it's used in a bit of a different meaning. Yeah, oh, he's a very smart individual. Oh, he's so unique. He has this unique individuality. Well, here's another sense, yeah, we discovered based on the etymology of the word. Yeah. Now, the second word would be persona. Well, person, yeah. Oh, he's such a nice person. Yeah, this person is this or that, blah, blah, blah. So, this word comes from Greek. Persona was a mask that ancient Greeks used to wear for their screenplays. So let me find a pic of a persona mask. So when we speak of personalities, we speak of masks. Again, persona. Persona. Sona is the sound. Yes, sonic. It means of sound. Yeah, related to sound. So persona is this mask that would allow your voice to go through it. We wouldn't see your real face. Yeah. So this is what a personality is. Yeah. It's a mask that is created by you, by your parents, by your friends. Yeah. Sometimes you want to be seen or perceived as cool, so you behave in a certain way. Yeah, boys can smoke, they can pretend that they are very serious about everything. Yeah, they don't have the right to smile. In some cultures, this seriousness, this aggression is strongly linked to manhood and masculinity, right? So these are personas. I hope you can see them. Yeah, you can just Google it, persona, and you'll see ancient Greek masks. Right. So we create personalities, our parents, our schools, our streets, our colleagues and bosses and political leaders, all of them create masks for us. So a single individual can have multiple personalities, and I'm not speaking of a disorder. Yeah, when this the individual can think that they are John Smith and Paul Sanders at the same time. Yes, two different individuals. No, for instance, I behave in a specific way with my students. I behave in a different way when I talk to my mother, for instance. So, my family, my colleagues, with my friends, I'm totally different. Yeah. When I perform on stage, yeah, with my drag persona, I'm totally different. Hmm? So, I have different personalities. We can also speak of roles when we speak of personalities. Yeah. So everyone has this. We are a bit different in different situations. Yeah, with your loved one, you're a bit different. Yeah, you sometimes allow yourself things and words. Yeah, that you normally don't say to others. Yeah, sometimes negative ones as well. So we have multiple personalities. Yeah, And in politics, this is sometimes seen in a in very interesting ways. For instance, when we have like um, scandals like this Republican or this guy who strongly opposes same-sex marriage or gay rights, is caught, you know, in a toilet cabin or at a hotel with a male prostitute, with a guy. Sometimes, you know, one of them, Republican politician, tried to seduce a police officer at the airport by giving him $20. I think that's just so mean. That's crazy, but yeah, an old guy. I think he was in his 60s or whatever. Well, age doesn't matter in this case. It's just, you know, it's this clash of personalities. Yes, sometimes you are forced to create a very heteronormative personality, like pretending you're heterosexual, you're straight, you're not interested in the people of your own in people of your own sex, etc. But because you have those natural inclinations, it has to come up to show itself in some ways. So this other personality is created. Sometimes it is treated as something negative, as a shadow that you need to get rid of, but it doesn't work normally. So religious leaders, political figures, from time to time they are caught, you know, using drugs, being anti-drug, you know, engaging in same-sex activities, being very homophobic, etc., etc. So this discussion of personalities in a political context is very interesting, because we see that from time to time, or people, you know, telling everyone you have to wear a mask, but they organize parties and events, and it's happening not only in the UK. We had similar situations in Armenia as well, yeah? And they don't wear those masks, yeah. So it's partly about their different personalities. When they want to show something which they, or their colleagues, yes, their political party created, well, we have to appear like this. But then there is this other part, and sometimes they just don't get on with each other, yeah. um, so personalities, that's it. Now, next we'll cover the topic of, yes, identity. So the term identity comes from a Latin word, idem, meaning same, same. We could use the word similar or same, yeah? So identity is something which relies on our habits, which relies on something that happens to you all the time. For instance, like we have those, and I'm going to give you a distinction between different types of identities here. We have conceptual identities, like a concept is a thought. Identities which are created through words and ideas, nationality, religion, yeah, many professional identities. Like, how on earth can you know that you're American if you have no one that tells you constantly, reminds you, or tells you, or teaches you that you are American, Armenian, French, Russian, doesn't matter. So it's words, yeah, words, textbooks, movies, songs, yeah. So it's conceptual, it is transferred, you know, those identities are transferred through words and behaviors. So they are shaped, they are created in cultures. So you need at least, well, in theory, minimum two people, but of course, in reality, it's much more than that. So one person needs to teach the other person that you are American, yeah. So this word same, yes, similarity, identity is created on this sameness. I am like you, yes. I copy you, or you teach me that I am like you or I should be like you. Yes. So this identity thing relies on this sameness. Yeah. And you go to school and you are taught the same. Yeah. Again, the same, that you're American, you're Russian, or you're Christian. How on earth can you know that if you are not taught? Yeah. Are there like natural crosses on our planet, like they just come out from the earth? No, it's created by people, yes? So it's man made, it's conceptual. On the other hand, the second, the second, what should I call it? Type of identities, or uh, one identity, is I will call it existential identity. So the word existential, it explains itself. Yeah, exist, something that exists. So existential identities. For instance, let's imagine a hotel room. We have, let's say, four beds. We have an American, we have a Russian, we have a Christian, we have an atheist. Hmm? Four different people of different national and religious and philosophical worldviews. Yeah, I don't want to describe atheism as a form of religion because it's the absence of religion. Um, so, for instance, when they go to sleep, do they sleep? Is the American still an American? Is he sleep? Is the Russian still a Russian in his sleep? Or they just are. And those conceptual identities maybe are switched off when the mind falls asleep, because conceptual identities are mental identities. Yes, they are sustained by our minds. So, or when, let's say, they all of them meditate, when silence comes, are they silent, in an American way? Is there an American silence, an Armenian silence, a Russian silence, a Christian silence? I mean, not only silence externally, but internal silence when you meditate and your um, reason, yeah, shuts up as well. You can try it right now. Just get into this silence. Do you cease to exist as soon as silence prevails, externally and internally? Or do you still exist even in silence? So, this is something very interesting and it's something very profound. I'm just giving you a little taste of this. It's a separate course on its own, self exploration and knowledge of the self. So I'll just stop here, okay? And I'll just wrap it up by saying that we have, I divide, yes, identities into two groups: conceptual identities and existential identity. And that's it for now, okay? So next, actually, I have my marks on my blackboard. Let me consult them. All right. I think I'm going to divide this lesson into two parts because it will be overwhelming. Okay. So we learned some interesting things during this lesson. The last topic in this lesson, or no, I'll actually, I won't give you anything for now, okay, because I still have very interesting things coming up. But let's keep the vids short and simple. Yeah, so 25 minutes. That's good enough. So that's it for today, guys. See you next time, and we'll continue our interesting exploration of identities. Okay, see you.